everyone. I'm Đức. Nowadays, the phrase "you don't have enough time" is one of the most common phrases from busy bikers. How to balance your career and personal interests, fulfill a family obligation, but still have time to learn new things. Today, we have organized a talk show with the attendance of Ms. Kim Hằng to discuss and find solutions about this problem. She's a professor in social psychology at Harvard University.
Hello everyone, it's my pleasure to be here with you today.
Hi Ms. Kim Hằng. Work-life balance is a big problem, especially amongst working people these days, right?
Yeah, I can agree with you more.
So before we start, let me show you an interview of two college students about this problem.
To me, the balance between work and life, when I can have time for my family, my personal interest, and my friend. For example, I can do my job where I can check up sports, do the cooking, and hang out with my friend. Work-life balance sometimes is something that make us happy in our life, but it's very hard to balance it too. However, I'm trying to.
Work-life balance is just impossible thing. You can choose personal interests while they have to work to achieve what they want to do. It's about choices. We only can choose one of them, achievement or investment. And you know, time is a rare resource. We should spend time on our career and then we can enjoy life when we retire.
Can you tell me your grasp on the concept of work-life balance?
Despite the work-life balance, we have very few have found an acceptable definition of the concept. However, a subject doesn't have to be brought as completely black and white. As many experts point out, balance isn't about building an impenetrable wall between your personal and professional lives, but finding ways to connect and integrate.
Oh, so according to you, there's no perfect definition of work-life balance. So let's see how these students manage their time.
I organize my time in the model AAA. That means everything I do in a day usually agenda before. I often spend 8 hours on study at school and at home. I often sleep 8 hours every day because I know only when we get enough sleep can we travel optimally. The rest of the time I spend on personal and leisure activity and other work. I often relax by watching film or listening to music. Sometimes I go out with my friend or my family. My other work are doing exercise, checking mail, reading book, chatting with my friend, and so on.
I often do work really without timetable. I do not only spend more time on study at school, but also at home, more than 10 hours. I always study at school from 7 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and spend about 2 hours in the library in the afternoon. After that, I often do homework in 2 hours and 10 class, English class, with classes 2 hours in the evening. Moreover, it takes me nearly 2 hours to move every day, so I feel like I do not have enough time. I never sleep enough 8 hours every day because having many things that need to be done. So I have time for myself, my family and my friends. Every day I have about 3 hours for personal and other things. I always wonder why a day is only 24 hours and I need more time than that. That's why I often feel exhausted and stressed.
You can see complete difference between them. What do you think?
Each of us has 24 hours a day, but not everyone feels enough, such as student 2 in just interview. So you must wonder, are you spending your time on the right things every day? We often misunderstand how we're spending our time, which leads to lost productivity or overlooked routines.
The truth is we have more time than we think. Therefore, I think that the first step in becoming more productive is understanding where your time is going now. Then you will realize that you need to change the timetable to work effectively. Let's explore how do these students feel about the timetable.
I don't feel stressed with my timetable. Furthermore, I'm comfortable and enjoyable. My work operates quite smoothly and efficiently. Besides, I'm satisfied seeing I have time to do many interesting things. My life is full of joy and happiness. I don't have a straight just feel a schedule in a flexible way because there always come unpredictable things that take a lot of my time. However, I have to maintain boundary between work and life strictly, keeping work and life time equal.
I stress very much, even with rest. I cannot manage both work and other parts of my life. My life is filled with work. I don't have time for many pleasures. Sometimes I must stay up late to accomplish tasks. I feel like deadline is coming again and again. To me, it is so hard to have a balanced life. As I say, I don't think we can achieve the balance. Just like when you are trying to catch a rabbit and that you have nothing. I have decided to dedicate my time on career. I have to get many things, but it works. As someone says, there is no such thing as work-life balance. Everything worth fighting for on balance is your life.
After watching the interview, we can see that each people has different style. Some of them have a full life, while others do not. Do you have any suggestion for those who have a balanced life?
So there are many difficulties of achieving balance. I believe we can do if we try our best. Here are my pieces of advice and strategies that I hope you can apply. First and foremost, take your private time. If you don't allow yourself pockets of personal time, you become too burnt out to fully appreciate any part of your life. Next, respect your boundaries. You cannot achieve your balance if you don't respect the boundaries you have put in place. You'll find that there's also something else you can do. There's always another email to reply to or a problem to work. But you need to personally respect your boundaries. If you don't, then you can't expect others to respect. Then understand what really matters. Over the years, I have seen too many people spend too much time on working on things that don't really matter. Time is the most valuable commodity in life. It is the one thing you cannot buy more of. So don't waste time focusing on what really matters.
Oh, yeah, I see. Let me add some recommendations from my experience. First of all, working deeply is an important role. Deep work is for the big, difficult, intensive tasks that take up a lot of your mental energy. Once you start on the start, give it all your attention and avoid distractions. You will be able to knock out these cognitive demanding tasks much more quickly. Second, let's go of professionalism. As you climb the ladder at work and as your primary roles, your responsibility to mushroom, professionalism becomes outreach. And if that habit is left unchecked, it can become destructive. The key is to avoid burning out is to let go of professionalism. Since the job as life gets more expensive, it's very hard, both neurologically and psychologically, to keep that habit of perfection going. She says, I think that the healthier option is to try not for perfection, but for excellence. Work-life balance is important to the well-being of individuals. Possible if you have a scientific schedule. I hope the talk show useful tips that you can apply to make your life happier. Thank you for watching.